In this movie, I'll show you how to align your intervals with the angle of the spine, which as you may recall is the path of the blend, in order to create a kind of fan effect in which these blue shafts of light are bending outward, as if they're emanating from the bird himself. All right, so I'll go ahead and switch over to my file so far, and just so I can find that spine, I'll press Control-Y or Command-Y on the Mac in order to switch to the outline mode. And I know it's a little bit confusing to see all these path outlines, but if you press the A key in order to switch to the white arrow tool and you click on this guy right there, this horizontal line, that is the spine for this particular blend. All right, I'm going to zoom out by pressing Control minus or Command minus on the Mac. And you can see the path outline begins over here in this left-hand path and ends over here in the right-hand path. All right, having selected it, I'll go ahead and press Control-Y or Command-Y on the Mac to switch back to the much more appealing preview mode. And then I'll go to the Pen Tool flyout menu and I'll select the Anchor Point tool from the bottom of the list. And I'll start things off by dragging out from this first anchor point in order to create a control handle, and then I'll drag from the second one to add a control handle to it as well. Now, where exactly to put these handles is a little bit of a mystery, which is why we're going to set up a guideline. And we're going to do that by first turning on the guides layer down here at the bottom of the stack. Then I want you to go ahead and select that layer, and now get the rectangle tool, which you can get by pressing the M key, and just go ahead and click any old place inside the document window in order to bring up the rectangle dialog box. And I'm looking for a width value of 300 points and a height value of 100 points, at which point I'll click OK in order to create that shape. Now go ahead and select the black arrow tool, which you can get by pressing the V key, and drag this center point here. But first make sure that the smart guides are turned on, which in my case they aren't, because I get a ton of flashing on screen when they are. And now I'll go ahead and scroll up a little bit and I'll drag this guy up until he snaps into alignment with both the center guide, so that vertical guideline, as well as the top of the bleed. Now what you want to do is right-click anywhere inside the document window and choose Make Guides in order to turn that guy into a custom guideline. All right, now we need to locate this spine once again, and I have found it. I'll just go ahead and click on it. Even though I'm working with the black arrow tool, it should work out okay. And then I'll switch to the white arrow tool, which I can get by pressing the A key, and I'll click this anchor point over here on the left-hand side of the spine, and then I'll drag its handle until it snaps into alignment with the top left corner of that rectangular guide. And now I'll grab this handle and snap it into alignment with the top right corner of that rectangular guide. All right, now as you can see, the angle of every single one of these intervals is unmodified. So even though they're going higher and higher inside the document, their angle is not changing. If that's not what you want, if you want to rotate your intervals along the spine, then go up to the Object menu, choose Blend, and choose Blend Options. And then notice this orientation icon. By default, it's set to Align to Page. What we want to do is set it to Align to Path instead, and then go ahead and turn on a Preview checkbox, and we get the fanning effect we're looking for. At which point, go ahead and click OK to accept that change. Now, obviously, we've lifted the blend way too high. And to correct for that, I want you to press the V key to switch to the black arrow tool, and then go ahead and click on one of these white shapes here in order to select that big compound shape. And then shift-click on the trees to add them to the selection, and go up to the Object menu, choose Lock, and choose Selection, where you have a keyboard shortcut of Control-2 or Command-2 on the Mac. All right, now press the A key to switch to the white arrow tool. Let's go ahead and zoom on in as well. And what we're looking for is these guys right here. So we want the two anchor points at the bottom of this path. And you can get to them if you like, now that everything is locked down, just by marqueing, like so. And then press the Shift key and marquee these two anchor points as well to select them. All right, now drag the top anchor point, this guy right there, or this one, doesn't matter. Drag it down and press the Shift key as you drag to constrain the angle of your drag to exactly vertical until you snap into alignment with that horizontal center guide, at which point you'll get this effect right here. And now you can press Control-Shift-A or Command-Shift-A on the Mac to deselect your artwork. And I'm also going to press Control-U or Command-U on the Mac in order to hide the smart guides. And I'll turn off the guides layer as well. And that's how you fan out the intervals in your blend, by aligning the intervals to the angle of the spine here inside Illustrator.